Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Christy here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you don't know your Moon and Rising sign, Pisces, there's a link in the description box where you can find out your whole birth chart. And that way, for additional messages for the week, you can always check out your Moon and Rising sign readings in addition to your Sun sign reading today. So this is for Pisces for the week of August 8th to August 15th. We'll be using the Wisdom of the Oracle deck for a 5-card spread today. And then, as always, we'll be drawing additional message cards from each of the Medicine Card Tarot and the Healing with the Angels Tarot. So this is a general reading for your sign. I encourage you to apply whatever you find helpful and healing here to whatever is most prominent in your life this week, Pisces. So I'll be asking, what does your sign need to know? And then we'll get sort of a bird's eye view of where the cards land in what position. We'll go through them one by one in their position, and then I'll hold them up to the camera for you so you can get a better idea of what's going on in the cards, image-wise and color-wise. So what does Pisces need to know? Whew, somebody's going through some changes this week, Pisces. Okay, let's just get these over here a little bit so you can see them. Cool. So like I said, just a general snapshot of what's going on here. Something is going to give this week, so to speak. Something is being upset. Not that you will be upset, but something is in process of shifting. It's time for it to happen. You are ready and willing to do this. It's also going to be a lasting, whatever is occurring here is lasting. This is going to create a permanent outcome for you. It's something that is either taking from you or exerting from you a great deal of emotional, mental, or psychological energy here. In particular, I'm going to say intellectual energy. When I say mental energy, I mean there is a very distinctive intellectual component to this. I think that you're being perhaps you are willing to, or you're being called to uproot something or to crack something open that for whatever reason you didn't realize was available to you or you didn't realize existed, etc. I don't think you're going to be surprised necessarily by what you're about to experience, but I do think that it's going to be a process and it is going to shake things up. In a good way, in a really good way, in something that is going to create very positive second chance outcomes for you. So I think there's a really big growth opportunity here this week for you, Pisces. I'm actually delighted. I've never seen these two cards together. And believe it or not, I think that the process of change and shift here is going to come through maybe even a little bit. Like I said, something will be upset. I don't think it's going to be you or a partner necessarily, and that certainly won't be lasting if it is. But something needs to be challenged here on a very significant and practical, but also on a level that we've taken for granted. Okay, so regarding information you've been given, belief systems, the way that you see the world, the way that you see yourself in the world, uh, even something as deep, I would suggest, as like the meaning of life, right? So something really significant that has been presupposed throughout our lifetimes or throughout history even, as being the way or the right way or this is the truth. And I think you're seeing that there are some questions about that you have, that you're willing to look at and to process for yourself, but you're not willing to let it rest there. I think that you are willing to apply it. It's one thing to say that you recognize something is off or something doesn't belong, or you've been told a variety of untruths. That's one phase of knowledge, right? But the other phase of that is applying that new knowledge, and that's what I see going on here. And it's going to feel that it's happening rather quickly because it's all going to sort of happen at once. Like I said, those are almost two different occurrences in most other universes or in other weeks, because this is specifically for a week, right? But I think you're going to be able to apply this new knowledge rather efficiently and rather quickly, and I don't think that's going to be the part that's upset, or create an upset in your life. I think it'll just be the acknowledgement of it. The application of it will be um, not necessarily easy, but it will be lasting. Okay, so let's look at what card is in each position for you here, and then, like I said, I'll hold them up to the camera for you so you can get a better idea of the imagery that I'm looking at. We have a change in the wind in the central position, which represents you. A change in the wind is really just about a shift in perception. Something is really being shaken up here for you to situate it again, okay? It's being something is in motion for you to apply it differently. The reason why I'm really looking at intellectual matters in particular here is that we don't have a lot of blue. There's not not that it's not going to affect your emotions, it probably will, but that the effort here is an intellectual or even spiritual, if you will, endeavor. And there are golden opportunities that lay within this endeavor. And one of the key words that I'm going to be looking at briefly is second chance. So you're going to feel like you have a second chance or a second opportunity at this endeavor or with this subject matter or concern or concept, etc. So the change in the wind, the actual shifting of something, is the event that represents you this week. In the energy that you're just leaving or bringing into the week is the TikTok card. This is literally timelessness. This is really about acknowledging that everything that we consider time and space has probably been manipulated. Another way of viewing this is that there are so many conversations that people, scientists, laypersons, and everyone in between have about time travel, for example. But what quantum physicists have found out for us, at least thus far, and of course it's very important to keep questioning this topic, but thus far what we've learned with regard to time or time travel, if you will, is that, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, is that it's kind of in our heads, right? That we can time travel, quote unquote, to the past, and we can have those memories, and we can consider that a type of time travel. But it's really only because our brains have brought us there. And the same can be implied to the future. We can travel to the future. We can make up all sorts of things in our heads that's going to happen. We can use our imagination. To affect these types of feelings that come with what we imagine will happen in the future. But again, it's an element of time travel. Essentially, what quantum physicists say about time is that what we really only have is here and now. It's literally it. They also suggest that everything is here and now, that future and past is the here and now. And I'm only raising that because it could be part of what is going on here with regard to information that you've been given, or have been educated thusly, or are tearing apart. If this is what the change is that you're looking at fundamental concerns, fundamental issues regarding who we are, what we've been taught, why we're here, what we need to address, what we need to question, why we've been told certain things, who's in control of it. So when we look at the sense of timelessness, the TikTok, the everything is now situation, I do think is going to help you in applying this second chance. That's why I don't think it's going to be taken for granted. You're not going to brush this off. You're not willing to look past this anymore, Pisces. I just see you taking the bull by the horns this week and saying, okay, you know what? Give it to me. I can do it. I've been feeling this on some level. I've been sort of smelling it. I get that a change in the wind has been sort of lurking about. It's maybe you've even considered it inevitable that you would be in a position to assess this and apply this week sort of together. And like I mentioned earlier, I think there isn't a level that a lot of other signs would go through where they would say one or the other is going to occur in any given week, that they would become knowledgeable or aware of something that's really big and deep and could shake things up, and then that's it, and then they'll sort of like take another chunk of time to apply it or to do something about it. In contrast to that, I'm seeing you do this all at once. You're saying, yeah, no, I totally get it, and I'm going to apply it, and something's going to shift because of it. So like a lot is happening sort of at once this week for you. But I just don't see it. When I say a shakeup, I mean a really positive, beautiful outcome, as in literally a second chance for you, a second opportunity for you to understand or apply something that you didn't think you had the ability to before. So you are going to be emboldened by this. This is going to lead you to a sense of strength, mental, physical, etc., even spiritual, a sense of awareness and strength and knowledge application as opposed to just knowledge awareness. Another way to look at this too is to say that, throughout history we've been saying knowledge is power. Well, something's missing from that. Knowledge is power when applied. Knowledge as power on its own, it just doesn't exist. I can know how to build a skyscraper, and that's wonderful as a knowledge, but as an application, it won't ever come to fruition if I don't actually do it. So this is what's going on here this week. I don't think you're satisfied that you're just figuring something out, or that you're willing to get to the root of something, or the time is now for you to make a concerted change in awareness around something that you've been taught or learned behavior. I think you're going to do it all at once. Everything's going to be like, yeah, I get it. I'm going to do it. So you're not messing around this week, Pisces. By the book is in the what is working for you card, position rather. This is really cool to have here because this is essentially what this is affecting. What is working for you? Knowledge, right? An assessment, an understanding, um, teachings, lessons, education in general, doing things in a certain order, going by the book, literally, like you have to get through this stage to get to this stage, you have to do this to get to, and you're aware of this. This is all very foundational, and I think that you know this probably better than any other sign, that everything is foundational. You have to build upon literally everything. Another way to look at this by the book is to consider the maths, as in a discipline, like the math as opposed to history and science. The maths as a discipline is a foundational um, uh, discipline, right? And it could be considered the same way in language. You have to have the basics in order to build upon them. That's what's going on here. You have a significant basis now from which to draw upon and create lasting changes for a situation or a concern here that you're more than happy and willing and ready to do, because you've been, if not waiting for this opportunity, you are taking this opportunity. Okay, you're aware and willing to do this, Pisces, so congratulations, good on you. It's a lot of people would brush this off. A lot of people, like I said, would break it up and say a little bit at a time, but I think you're taking it all on. So this is really cool. It's not going to go without an argument of some sort, even within yourself or with someone else or with your colleagues, friends, what have you. This is in what you may not be aware of. It has to. Any type of major shift like this into another level for yourself, especially if it is fundamental education and learning, needs to be undone. Okay, it needs to be the storm needs to come before the calm, so to speak. Chaos and conflict and regeneration here together are really part and parcel. Something needs to break open in order for something new to grow. I know You're aware of this, and I know that you're willing to do it. So again, this is phenomenal willingness and I believe a great deal of responsibility as well, because you feel as though it's your responsibility to figure this out and apply it, and to not be afraid of the outcome. And because the outcome is going to be lasting or long term, you're not going to make any excuses, or you're not going to be apologetic about this. And good on you, because they are part and parcel. You have to be able to crack something open to get the results of that. Another way to look at the chaos and conflict card as well is to consider what Yoda said, and that is we must unlearn what we have learned in order to learn, right? So you kind of have to undo something here in order to get the true assessment or true knowledge, because unfortunately, much of what we've been taught in this world about ourselves, about the world itself, about who we are, what we're capable of, etc. All of it, all of those esoteric types of phenomenons, I believe strongly that we've been lied to about, and I think that you understand this. So you're not taking any shit this week, Pisces. In the probable outcome card is regeneration. You are promised an expansion of self, a mind, soul, and heart expansion here. This is something that's going to be rooted and lasting. You're going to create growth from this experience. This is why chaos and conflict and regeneration are almost in tandem here. I'm really seeing a beautiful outcome due to the fact that you're willing to get through this probably somewhat difficult, maybe uncomfortable part of the process of growth, but you're willing to do it. So again, thank you for going through this, and be willing to come out the other side. So let's look at these briefly one by one, and then we'll draw your additional cards here. A change in the wind. There's been something that was static for a long time for you that you've been carrying around. It's created a part of your personality probably, but something you've slowed down, right? You've been running with this for a long time, not really questioning it. But because you've slowed down, something is starting to disassemble here. Something is starting to come undone because it was supposed to. And honest to God, I'm not kidding around here. Look at what led you to here. It is time, right? Like you were going, and then look, it's actually facing the time. You've had to slow down for whatever reason, right? You know what that is. But because of that, you are now capable of facing something that I wouldn't even say running from. That's an unfair way to view this. I don't think you've been consciously running from anything at all. No, I just feel like you are the personality type, the soul type, to acknowledge this at this time. And for whatever reason you've been able to slow down, I'm going to suggest it's because you're willing to, and thank you for doing that. That you now see is the time for you to do this. I also feel like there could be an opportunity that has been provided to you that you recognize is indeed an opportunity and not a drawback. A lot of people, a lot of other signs, for example, or even you at other phases of your life or throughout the year may be resistant to this. And this is why it's so important right now to recognize that you're no longer resistant to this. You're welcoming this. You know you have what it takes, and you know that it's a big deal. You know it has something to do with the way that constructs and belief systems have been formed and you've been educated by. So by the book, like I said, if you can consider the maths as a discipline, it's important to deconstruct something here and to start very small. When unlearning, right? Like you don't want to start deconstructing algebra. You want to start deconstructing, maybe even the times table, maybe even pluses and minuses at this point. Like really get at the root of belief systems and normatives in your life as a discipline. And some questions to ask around that is, what do the tellers or sayers of these stories or belief systems have to benefit from you believing in them? And I really think this is where some of the deconstruction will occur. So yeah, you could be uncomfortable at some point through this because significant changes will be made here, but I just don't see you rejecting them at all. I think you're going to be saying this is all part and parcel. Of course, there's going to be conflict. There is an unlearning phase here. There could be even an element of being upset at some point that you've been lied to, misled, or taught to believe things that just simply aren't true. And again, here we have our second land animal stopped in the middle of something. And in the stopping or in the slowing down this week, Pisces, is the moment of awareness for you. It will be the moment, the aha moment for you. It could even be the moment of, those bastards, I can't believe I believed it all this time, etc. But it will be in relation to your elevation. It won't be those bastards, how could they do this? And now I feel bad. It'll be, I'm breaking out of something really significant here, and I'm really proud of myself for doing it. So take that route here. Don't be weighed down by any chaos or conflict this week, Pisces. Really use it to your advantage. Use it in order to treat it like a jumping board, something to leap from. Like, get to the next level from it. Don't let it drag you down, because this is your probable outcome, the regeneration. This is literally second chances. This is second opportunities. Something was available to you before. For whatever reason, you weren't able to or willing to. Again, no judgment, but now is the time. Now you're just bringing it all in. You're willing, you're ready, and this is about building something from a lot of heat, okay? A lot of generative crushing, if you will, like the energy that it takes to make a diamond, so to speak, right? Like, yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be under a lot of pressure, but look at what you get at the end of it. So, and I think you know this intuitively, that what you get at the end of this phase for yourself is this beautiful new growth, reaching for the sun in this beautiful, look at the light that awaits you. So there is a generative awareness here that, again, I just don't see an awareness being what you're happy with, and you're going to be like, yeah, I'm aware now, okay, let's take a break. No, I think you're going to be like, oh my god, I'm aware of this, how can I apply it, or how quickly, or where can I apply this? Or uh, you might even tell other people straight up. You might even tell other people right away. If that's the case, maybe that could be part of the conflict. Maybe other people aren't seeing what you're seeing yet, or they can't accept it. If that's the case, just keep going in your direction. Stay in your car, stay in your lane. If they're meant to catch up, they will. The squirrel is one of your last qualifier cards here. It's the card of gathering. This is really about gathering knowledge, essentially gathering knowledge, awareness, aptitude even. Sometimes in learning new information, there is, even when applying it, you have to have a certain aptitude for that, right? Like I said, you have to be ready and willing to apply it and not just make it a theory. So the gathering could be really about gathering new information. Brilliant. Okay. Gathering the appropriate information that is true in relation to what you've been taught. So we're looking at information that you can take and apply in opposition to what you've been taught. Okay, so we're looking at matters of gathering information to weigh against what you've been taught, to sort of in terms of what you will learn after you've unlearned, if you will. The study card just kind of repeats the gathering here. It also looks at what you have studied as opposed to what you are willing or able to study. And then the listening card, listening on what to do with it. How, when this is applied, how are you going to integrate this into all areas of your life? And certainly the study and the listening card together could be about your higher intuition. Never take that for granted, Pisces. You are a beautiful water sign, so you could be relying on a grand level here on your intuition. So if you're led towards certain information or gathering certain issues to study, just remember that it is an intuitive relation, and that you are in my view, going in the right direction if you're following your intuition here. So thanks for sticking around for the relatively long reading. And please let me know how this works out for you. I say this for all signs, but I mean it. I'm genuinely interested in how this works out for you. So if you have a second, let me know how it does. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel because I upload videos for your sign every single week. So until we meet next time, Pisces, take good care. Bye for now.